Tips and Tricks Part 2.
The what? Second. The what? Yes. Let's try it now. I will send you a message. Okay, you can see the message, right? You got the message? Okay, I'll message you like this, and I'll say you'll be live in this much time. What am I supposed to do with them? Do I just mute them? Sorry? Yes. No, okay, Noor, are you ready? Alright, I'll go first. Woo! Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our stream. Welcome to Cooking 102. We're going to be talking about and showing how to cook. We're going to be giving you some tips and tricks and all that kind of stuff. If you're new to cooking, we have tips for you as well, but we're going to be going one step ahead of Cooking 101. So we'll be cooking you some about food where you can get ingredients right next to you and then cook in this pandemic. We have 5 meals that we're going to be showing you, I believe. So the first one, we will be starting off with shakshuka. And the shakshuka we're going to be creating will be created by Noor. And I will pass it along to her now. You are live.
Everyone, my name is Noor. Today I'm gonna start with the first dish. I'm gonna make a shakshuka as for breakfast. It's basically eggs and tomato, and I will try to show it as easy way as possible. Let's get started. I will show you step by step. Okay, so basically we need to heat first the pan. Add around tablespoon of oil. Okay. Okay, while the pan heats, we would need 1 medium tomato chopped, 2 eggs, and fresh coriander. Okay, so basically, oil is heated. Add the tomato and one for fresh coriander. Okay, basically, if I added 1 medium tomato, I would add 2 eggs. So for each tomato, we would have 2 eggs. Like if you have 2 tomatoes, we will have 4 eggs. And we would mix it. We need to cover it and let it sit for a while. While it sits, after it sets, I would need spices. Basically, you could add any spices you have, but you could add salt, black pepper. If you have paprika, you could add paprika. For me, I have here black pepper, salt, cumin, and coriander, and a small amount of mixed spices. And we would have tomato paste, let's say 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. For the tomato paste, I would have a tip and trick for you. If you open a can of tomato paste and you have a lot of tomato sauce, you could just freeze it in a zip bag and basically take out any amount you would like to take out to cook. This is from the freezer, by the way. So we need to mix. Traditional shakshuka would have onion in it, but this is the easy version. This is how I like to cook it. It's easy and fast.
Few words to deliver a few words.
I would add the tomato paste. I said you could add maybe half a tablespoon from each spice, depend on how do you like it. I like the flavors to be strong. Okay, so for the amount, it would be for one person, but it depends on how much they eat. Like 2 eggs is enough for me since it's gonna be scrambled. So if you could add more tomato and more eggs, it depends. So after that, we would add the 2 eggs and we would mix them. I like to keep it this way for it to cook a bit and then move it. So I had scrambled eggs, but I don't like to move it while it's just set. So you keep it for a few seconds and then you move it. For the seconds and move it then like that. Eggs would cook pretty fast, so you don't need to keep it for too long. You don't want to have dry eggs. Yeah, so basically on this dish, you can add anything like like cheese. Just add cheese, cheddar cheese or mozzarella cheese and anything. But that's the easy way, and it doesn't take too long, and it doesn't need a lot of ingredients. So as you can see, the eggs start to cook. Almost done. It's done. I would turn the stove off. Okay, so I have a piece of bread here, and I would add eggs to the dish. Okay, I like fresh coriander a lot, so I would top it up with the coriander, and you could eat it with any type of a bread you like. But we need to make a drink for our breakfast. I would show you how to make an easy iced coffee. So basically, we would need water. We would need boiling water, just a small amount, just to down the coffee. Okay, so basically, we would need a tablespoon of coffee, or it depends on how strong you like the coffee to be, and a few like sugar, you could add the sugar in this step with the boiling water. Okay, so we would need ice since it is an iced coffee. Okay. This is ice cubes. I will add the milk.
Economy and how things are. So
It's ready.
I hope
So basically, you would have a coffee and sugar, if you like sugar, in this cup. And you would add boiling water to it. You mix it around. And an iced coffee. So as you can see, okay. So I have one tip for you. If you have extra coffee or you don't want to go through this step every day, you could just make some more coffee and just put it in an ice tray and put it in the freezer. So every morning you just have to put the coffee ice cubes in here and milk, and that would be it. So that would be our breakfast. We will have shakshuka and iced coffee. I hope you enjoy and thank you.
Hi guys, today I'm going to show you a very simple and easy breakfast. It's also very healthy. It's oatmeal. I think this is very easy and usually I eat it as breakfast, but sometimes I also eat it as snacks. And if I want to have a very light dinner, I also eat it. So the first thing is obviously oat. Just pour as much as you want. It depends on how much you want to eat. So I added this much. Okay. The next thing is you can add milk, or if you want, you can add yogurt. If you don't have milk or yogurt, you can still use water. It's totally fine. For me, I prefer milk. You just need to cover the oat with the milk. You can also like make it 1 centimeter extra because usually the oat absorbs the milk. Okay. And then you mix it. It already started absorbing the milk. Usually I end up adding more, but I wait a while to see if it's gonna absorb all the amount. All right. One more thing that I love to add to the oatmeal is cocoa powder because it gives it a taste. I just add a little bit, like maybe half a teaspoon, and I mix it. You can see the color is changing. It's very bright brown. Till this moment, we didn't add anything sweet because we have fruits. I also have sugar. I mean, if you love your food very sweet, you can add sugar, but I don't. I usually prefer natural sugar coming from fruits, so I don't add sugar. So we keep mixing. If you love cinnamon, you can also add cinnamon. Just any flavor that you really like, totally fine to add it. All right, so we have this color here, very bright brown. The next step is adding fruits. You can have fresh fruits or dried fruits, whatever you prefer. For me, I have bananas here, so I'm just gonna take 1 banana and cut it. Just gonna cut a few pieces. I don't like to add a lot. All right. After I added the bananas, the last thing that I love to add is also dried raisins. This is my dried fruit. It makes it more sweet. As I mentioned, I prefer dried fruit. So yeah, that's my final plate. I hope you like it.
Tips and Tricks Part 2. Now, what we're gonna do is teach you a nice juicy snack, which is sweet corn. Sweet corn are easy, cheap to find, and they're super easy to cook. Now, ingredient number 1, which my partner already put on to the pan, is butter. Butter is extremely delicious. It can make even the most stale things taste extra juicy. The other ingredient that we're gonna use is lemon. One thing that my partner did was try to roll the lemon against the counter to make it squeeze out extra juices. Right now, he's draining the corn. And we're heating the butter up. And whole kernel corn into the pan. Be careful because usually the butter likes to sizzle at this point. And we're gonna slowly cook it. If you cook it at high heat, it's just gonna melt away all the butter and well, nothing's gonna stick to the corn. So usually do it at low to medium heat at this point. Medium if you wanna cook it a bit faster. And now we're gonna chop up the lemon. soon he will squeeze it all over that sizzling corn. Oh yeah, another tip is to use a nice squeezer. It's a lot more easier to do it that way rather than squeezing it with your hand, and a bit more sanitary. Readying the juice, and bam! You just drizzle it all over them sweet corns. A perfect combination of sweet and savory. Or in this case, sour. Now we're going to use a bit of black pepper. One of the kings of seasoning. Next ingredient, your everyday salt. Any table salt will do. If you want to be a bit more fancy, you can go Himalayan salt. And you just stir it all in. Mix and blend, mix and blend. Nothing too complicated, right? Now, for a little bit of a secret ingredient, we're going to use garam masala. Just a hint. And I think it's reaching the climax. We had the climactic finish of our little sweet corn. A bit more swirly. And we're done. Now, another extra tip that you can do is that wash the can that the corn came in and then reuse it as a cup. Now you can have your corn in a cup in its original can. Recycling, or rather reusing. Go green, people. Go green.
One moment. We are having troubles.
Okay then. Now, we guys are gonna be talking about how to cook fajitas. We're gonna be going a bit in Mexican, but don't worry, it's not gonna be that complicated. So my partner over here, Salim, he's gonna start off the recipe by preheating the pan and adding a small knob of butter. Be careful, there will be a bit of sizzling. And what he did over there is that he spinned the butter around so that it's even distributed. And he added a little bit of sunflower oil. Olive oil if you want to go a bit more light on the fats. Now we're going to add the chicken breast. When you add the chicken breast, try to do it, a bit slowly, because the water in the chicken breast then reacts with the butter or oil, heated butter and oil. It usually creates a lot of bubbles. So if you just splash it in, then you are gonna burn yourself, and we do not want you to do that. So if you're comfortable with cooking, you either slowly dip it in with your hand, or you use these. Anyhow, my partner is gonna try to make sure that it's cooked evenly on both sides. Flip it around. We will be cooking it at medium heat so that we don't burn either side of this chicken breast. A lot of the times when you cook it at high heat, you're not gonna realize, and then bam, all your fats are burned, and fats by fats I mean butter. All your butter and fats are burned, and your chicken is now dry. And you do not want a dry chicken. Now we're gonna cover it up. So now you're gonna be wondering, wait, why cover it up and lower the heat? The thing is that whenever you cook something like this, all the vapors from the butter, from the chicken, and all of that, right? They're gonna bounce around in the pan. And you're not only gonna be cooking it with the heat of the pan itself, you're also going to be cooking it with the vapor inside. It's just gonna bounce around all the heat, and then boom, it cooks up juicy. Now, you're gonna notice that we've chopped up a bunch of nice, beautiful bell peppers of different kinds and onions. They usually don't come in this shape. You usually have to chop them up. We did this so that we don't have to make you wait too long. Now we're gonna show you the spices. The spices will be told by my friend.
All right, hi, my name is Salim Kamer, and the spices we used for the chicken is salt, pepper, paprika, and garam masala, and also a mixed spices. We use that to give this better flavor for the chicken.
Because nobody likes bland chicken, besides maybe Karens.
All right, so let's check on the chicken and see how far we are with cooking. Make sure to flip it every now and then to allow both sides to be cooked.
Because again, you don't want your chicken to just be cooked on one side. You want it to be cooked on both sides. By the way, one more thing that you guys might have noticed, okay? Our chicken looked a bit more reddish and spicy than you would normally find in the market. That's because we seasoned it a bit. And the seasonings were...
The seasonings were chili, salt, obviously, pepper. We also added a bit of cumin for that traditional flavoring. And also we added some capsa.
Yes, there you have it. That's the, I wouldn't exactly call it marinating, but seasoning of your chicken that you want to go with. Because if you don't do that, again, you're gonna end up with bland chicken. You do not want bland chicken. Now, you check on the chicken again. You want to do this often, because if you don't, and you start, I don't know, being busy on TikTok or playing Genshin Impact or something like that, your chicken's gonna burn. This happens a lot. I've done it a lot. That's why I'm letting my partner do all the kitchen work. Because I'm gonna put it on the stove and walk away.
And make sure for the vegetables, make sure you have yourself red bell peppers, green bell peppers, and yellow bell peppers, and also onions. You can also choose to add in chili if you guys like the spicy kind of fajitas.
No, spiciness is kind of part of my culture. So I would probably go with jalapenos. Say boo-hoo in the chat if you like jalapenos. Anyhow, so as we slowly cook the chicken, okay, we're going to give you a little ASMR. Not actually, but we're going to tell you a bit more about chicken and how to prepare it. So a lot of times, right, if you want to do it quick and you don't have a lot of time, then you do what we did. Just put a bunch of spices on top of the chicken and pop it in the pan. However, if you want to get a little bit of that extra flavor, and if you've got a little bit more time to make it much more tender, what you can do, which again, this kind of goes against our normal stream message, is be a little bit extra and marinate. So one of the two techniques that I would recommend for marination is through sour milk and lemon. Now sour milk, the moment you hear it, it kind of sounds weird, but it's not that odd of a thing. So yeah, so you're probably not gonna find it in the store as well, and you can use yogurt as a replacement. Yogurt, yeah, back to sour. Okay, we're checking the chicken again. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Let the sizzling go away. Okay, now that the sizzling is gone and you can finally hear my beautiful voice, what you do with the chicken is that you check it every 2 to 3 minutes, and if you're a bit lazy, just check it about 5 at least. So anyhow, back to the marination lesson. So, sour milk. How do you find or make sour milk? Basically, what you do is you take milk and add a little bit of vinegar or lemon. Now you're gonna be like, what? That sounds weird. But it's not. A lot of chefs do this and it's completely safe. What you do is add a little bit of lemon or vinegar and let the milk rest for a while. And eventually you're gonna see a little bit of curds form here. There are gonna be curds everywhere. And when you notice that, that means your sour milk is ready. By the way, do not store sour milk for long periods of time. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with a very different product, which you do not want to consume. Anyhow, so for sour milk marination, you just, put your chicken in the sour milk, add whatever spices you like. In our case, as we've told you, black pepper, garam masala, mixed herbs, paprika, and salt. That's what we went with. If you have a different sort of, thing that you could prefer, then you can go with that. And we're gonna do another check.
One way to figure out if your chicken's ready, make sure you tap on the chicken, and if it pushes back like skin, it is nearly done. Another reason why we cook the breast instead of cutting up into little pieces is because we wanted to allow the flavor to kick in and to have this roasty grill look on the chicken in order to have that like grill look. And later on we will be cutting up the chicken into smaller pieces and adding it in with the vegetables.
We want to give that Mexican grill style look. That's smoky. Anyhow, back to marination part 2. So the second thing that you can do for marination is with lemon. Lemon is very easy to marinate with. All you do, dip the chicken in lemon and add whatever spices. It's less hectic than sour milk. But a lot of chefs prefer sour milk because it adds a bit more tenderness, a bit more juiciness to your chicken. If you check Gordon Ramsay and those guys, dealing with chicken or anything like that, you'll notice them using sour milk or buttermilk. And what else is there? Oh yeah, by the way, chicken is actually a really good source of protein. If you guys didn't know. So, a lot of bodybuilders and stuff like that, they usually have a lot of chicken breasts in their menu. So I'm not saying that this is gonna make you muscular or Captain America or Hulk, okay? But it can be a good start in case you want to lose the MCO body. Let's admit it, we do not look the fittest right now. We are not in our best shape. But with proper diet, and hopefully when the gyms open up, a little bit of exercise, we might lose that extra COVID fat. Anyhow, we are we done?
We're nearly done.
We're nearly done.
Flip it one more time. As you can see, the roasty part, you see the cooked areas of the top part of the chicken. That means this side is ready. Right now, we need to just grill this part more. And once we're done, we'll take this out and then we'll move it aside. Most important thing we need right now is that we need to cook the vegetables right after the chicken, right? But the thing is, it will cancel out a lot of flavors if we remove whatever's left of the pan. Now, after I'm done with the chicken, I'm gonna leave it like that, and I'm gonna throw in the vegetables. Once I do that, the vegetables they will eat up all the spices, all the parts of the chicken bits that are left out here, and it will make the pan sticky. Now I'll show you that right after I'm done with this.
One last roast. Yay! And by the way, I kind of feel bad for you guys because you can't smell how good it smells. Or actually, I think you guys should feel bad for me. because I'm the one salivating over here over this juicy, tender chicken. And oh yeah, by the way, one tip even when it comes to dealing with bread after you've cooked anything in a pan, whether it's meat or chicken, the juices left in the pan, after you cook any sort of meat, they can be used for a lot of things. A lot of the times, chefs would just take a bunch of chicken bones and whatnot and just boil it to get that flavor out. Meat is tasty for a reason. It has a lot of flavor in it, especially in its fats. And I don't mean fats by the one which you usually hear online. Oh my god, fats dangerous. Ah. The natural fats that are found in most meats, even in ours. Please, I do not support cannibalism. Anyhow, we are just gonna have to wait a little longer. What else is there? Oh yeah, Celine, what's your favorite sauce to put on fajitas?
Well, I have my own very sauce. A friend of mine actually showed me how to mix up the sauce and and give it that nice taste with the fajitas. I will show you guys in about after I'm done with everything, so we can show you exactly how to set up everything with the tortilla breads and the fajitas, and including the sauce.
Let us show them a bit of the tortilla breads and
What you can buy. So this is the tortilla bread. This is the branding by Early Bird since 1997. The closest place you can buy it is from Village Grocer, Jaya Grocer, or the local stores near you.
Well, if your store doesn't have it, then you're shopping the wrong spot.
Or you can always improvise by getting yourself Arabic bread or just white bread. You can take the white bread, put it over your grill, toast it, and then keep it on the side for the fajitas.
That's if you're willing to offend the Mexicans. Anyhow, in my case, I usually, whenever it comes to meat and stuff, I usually like hummus as a dip, which is kind of weird for a lot of people.
Hummus would actually go well with this. If hummus would go a lot with everything. It would go with vegetables, meat, anything you would like.
Hummus, the heavenly dip of Arabia.
Hummus is actually chickpeas blended with tahini and a bit of cumin and lemon, actually. All right, now the chicken's about done. The chicken is perfectly done. What we're going to do, we're going to take it out here. And we're going to cut it up into bits. But first, what we're going to do, we're going to leave this as it is. Put it in low heat so we don't have the vegetables burning up. You take the vegetables right here and you just throw everything in. Everything will be cooked in about the same level. Make sure you have a good balance of everything you have. You have the onions, you have the red bell peppers, you have the yellow, and you have the green. The green is the best thing. The green is the most important one for you right now. Get yourself a plastic spoon or wooden. Better to have a plastic or wooden. Metal would usually scrape up the pan. So I advise you not to use metal.
Yeah, I did that once with my pan and I messed up majorly. And I had to buy a new pan. It was such a bother. It messed up my entire allowance. Like I had everything planned out and then bam, my pan's ruined. Everything just sticks. It's no longer a pan, it's glue.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna move the camera up to here, to the chicken area, to show you guys exactly how we cut it up. So first thing first, get yourself a fork, or use the same tongs that you used last time. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna take the chicken and you're gonna cut it up diagonally and cut up thin parts in order to have enough chicken for whoever's going to eat with you.
Usually, in my case, it's just me, even on Valentine's.
Right, now I kind of have a bad job at cutting it, but it doesn't matter. Most important thing is that, like I said, you have enough pieces left for everyone in the table.
Oh yeah, by the way, in case you are a bit Mr. Perfectionist or have OCD, don't worry. If you do unevenly cut meat, it also has a bit of advantages because then each meat would have a little bit of a different texture. So it won't just be the same bland flavor over and over and over again with every bite. It's going to be a bit smaller, a bit bigger.
Right.
And that way, your mind's going to be a bit more excited.
And as you can see, chicken is cooked, nowhere near raw, which is perfectly good for the fajitas.
Yeah, you don't want to go rare chicken because you're going to get salmonella. I learned that the hard way.
All right, now let's check up on the vegetables. The thing is, you need to focus on the vegetables most of the time in order so you don't burn it or damage it. What we're doing, we're sautéing. We're just softening up the vegetables so we can have it with the fajita. And as you can see, I'm not scraping anything. I'm just going with the flow because right now the vegetables, they soften up the pan. So this is a very good alternative for when you want to cook something. If you want to cook meat, and now the pan gets really sticky, what you're going to do is that you're going to get yourself a bunch of vegetables, the ones that are perfectly balanced with the meat that you want with, and then throw it in there and let it cook, and just wait for it to drink up all the juice. Best preferred, you should also include salt in the dish, in the vegetables, because your vegetables might not have enough salt from what's left of the pan when you cook the chicken.
By the way, one advice, do not use vegetables as an alternative or substitute for dish cleaners. It is not going to completely clean your dish. You are eventually going to have to wash it. I know we all hate washing dishes, but you have to do it.
Just make sure to soak up the pan and plates before washing it so you don't have any bits and pieces dried up on the plate.
Exactly. By the way, one of the reasons you have to be really careful with the vegetables is, as he said, they burn up quick. And you might have probably noticed how quickly plants burn if you paid attention to 2020 news and how Australia was on fire. Now he's going to be dicing the meat a bit more into different shapes. As I said, if you've got a variety of shapes, then you're going to have a variety of textures. And variety usually is a good thing to have in food. You never just want to go with one thing. It gets boring otherwise. I would say the same thing when it comes to chopping, vegetables, potatoes, if you're trying to make French fries or something, homemade French fries. You chop them into different, lengths and thicknesses, you're gonna get variety. What else is there? Oh yeah, another thing, if you want to make your fajita even more exotic and you want to kind of break the Mexican people's heart even more, add egg in the end. When you mix everything into the pan, you can just break eggs and then just mix it together. The Japanese will love you for it. They really love putting egg on everything. They put eggs on rice, they put eggs on noodles, they'll put eggs on soup and cook it. They have a dish called oyakodon, which literally means parent and child. And I'm guessing, considering with the egg theme, you might be able to tell where we're going with that. Basically, they cook egg and chicken in the same sort of soupy pot, which kind of sounds a bit messed up now that I think about it. Like cooking a child with the... Okay, I'm gonna lose my appetite if I think anymore. And as you heard the sizzles, that means our veggies could have been burnt if you didn't stir them up. That's why you always stir.
Still needs more time. I'm gonna leave it here.
The reason he could tell it needs more time is because they haven't softened up properly and they aren't fully brown. Most vegetables, especially onions, okay, the easiest way to tell your onion is ready for other processes is when it's brown. If it's goldenish or brownish, it means it's done. You do not want to cook it beyond that, otherwise you end up with burned onions. Unless you're trying to make caramelized onions, then go ahead, burn it. Not your house, the onions. Anyhow, we are just going to be waiting for these veggies.
And while we're waiting, let me show you how the sauce would be made. Now, usually for sauces like these, you preferably go for sour cream and some tomato bits and onions. But there is a way where we can just improvise in all of this. So what you're gonna need to do, you're gonna get yourself some ketchup and put some ketchup on the bowl.
Pick your favorite brand.
Best preferably is Maggi sauce tomato and Heinz mayonnaise.
In my case, I go hands all the way. Ketchup and mayo.
Get yourself some mayonnaise.
Yeah, that always sounds awkward.
If you guys like a little bit of
A tangy flavor.
tangy flavor, get yourself some mustard and just put a little bit. Once you're done with that, mix them all up. You get this light orange creamy looking sauce. There you go. You have yourself some easy topping for the fajitas.
One warning though, don't add too much of mustard because mustard has a very overpowering flavor. If you add too much of it, it's just gonna be sour and it's gonna be inedible.
So let's check.
And let's check the veggies. Chef, what's the verdict?
A few more minutes and it's gonna be ready.
A few more minutes.
Let's give it about a minute and a half.
A few more seconds feels like a year for me. Every second I'm just counting. When will it be done? When will I have the fajitas?
It'll be ready when you least expect it.
Oh, surprise! Why do I have a feeling I'm gonna pass out right now and then wake up with fajita in my mouth? Or he's maybe gonna do magic trick. That would be funny. He just does abracadabra, boom, and then the fajita's in my mouth. I'm like, what? Then you guys would have a mini magic show along with the cooking show.
All right, vegetables are ready. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take the chicken right here and just throw it all in the pan. Now the chicken still has the flavor, and also the flavor has been left out in the pan. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna finally combine all the flavors together, the chicken and the vegetables. Put it on low heat. Don't forget that, because we're not cooking right now. What we're doing, we're just mixing and blending the flavors together. And we're just heating up the chicken. We'll leave it there for about a minute. After that, bon appetit.
Oh yeah, by the way, the Japanese usually call the flavor from meats umami. I think it's been adapted by Western audiences as well, Western chefs and whatnot. That thing aside, do you guys want to know one little secret in regards to the chicken? If you noticed, we removed the chicken off the pan and we just allowed it to rest outside. Now, this is the term that's usually used by a lot of chefs. Let the meat rest. That does not mean let it have an 8-hour nap or sleep. My naps do not last that long. They usually last longer. Anyhow, that my sleeping habits aside. So what you do when you let the meat rest is basically usually when you cook, chicken, meat, or anything like that, it tightens up a lot. Like all the proteins, all the muscle, they just tighten up. However, when you just let it rest in room temperature, they soften up. That is what you need. You do not want rubbery hard chicken. You don't want rubbery hard any kind of meat. You want it to be tender. You're not testing out your jaw strength. You're trying to have a meal. So that's why when you let your meat rest outside in room temperature, it becomes tender. It becomes soft. All the stress just flies away. And we are nearly. Are we nearly done?
Yes, we are.
Oh. We are just gonna wait for a little longer.
Let's prepare the plates.
Okay, we're preparing plates.
Add in the tortillas. Look at that. Perfect. All right. So what we're gonna do? Let me move the camera up to here. Here I prepared the tortilla. I also forgot to mention that if you guys want a little bit of spiciness, you can just go ahead and add yourself a chili sauce. So here's your chili sauce. Here's your special sauce. Spread it out a bit.
To the people who might have joined the stream a bit late, that is not peanut butter. That is a special sauce that we made by combining mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard.
All right.
Note again, not too much of mustard.
Make sure you have all the vegetables, the chicken, the onions, the green bell, the red bell, and the yellow bell. Put them all here on one side.
So many bells.
Now here's a technique that prevents you guys from dropping your food. You're gonna have that tortilla bread. You're gonna fold it over like this. That makes you separate the sauce and also the food. You just have it like that. And there you have it. Fajita in the tortilla bread, perfectly wrapped and ready to eat.
Now, if you want to go a bit more fancy, you can also heat up the bread on a buttered pan and whatnot.
Just to make it a little bit crispier.
Yes.
Now let's give it a try. Here you go, Rizwan.
Let me see if our chef's cooking is actually as good as I thought. You show you proof that I have consumed. Oh my god, this is actually really good. This is general reaction. Oh wow. If you want to hear me chew, which I don't think is the most beautiful sound in the world. Okay, I'll first eat, because it's rude to talk with food in the mouth.
Remember to turn off your stove.
Oh yeah, you don't want to burn your house. Again, a one major request from the stream, do not burn your house, please. And now that I've tasted the food and verified that it's not poison, and it's actually tasty, we are going to end our stream. Thank you very
guys
much,
for watching.
and have a good day.
Hello, today we're going to try 4 different ways to open an egg and separate the egg yolk from the white part. Actually, I have 4 different ways and I want to try all of them. I have 4 eggs here and see if it's gonna work out. So basically I'm testing them. So the first one is cracking the egg and trying to separate it using the eggshell. So I have 2 transparent plates here. I'm gonna use this one for now. You open it like this and you try to keep the yellow part in the eggshell and use the other part to control it, to control the movement. I still have the yellow part here, the egg yolk, and then you just put it in the other plate and separate it. It worked. Here is it. Alright, so for the second one, You're gonna make sure your hands are clean. You need to wash them. So give me a second. For the second one, you need to wash your hands because you're going to use them. So basically, you're going to open the egg in your hand and you try to hold the egg yolk with your hand. So you're using your hand to separate it. Okay, this worked perfectly. I only have the egg yolk here. And again, it's quite messy. This is the second egg. It's quite messy, but it worked. Alright, so this is the third method of how to open an egg and separate the egg yolk from the white part. So for this one, you need a very small plate and a very small cup. Make sure this part is small because this is what we care about the most. So you're gonna open the egg in a small plate. Just crack it as usual. It's just the egg, okay? But then you will try to use the cup to only hold the egg yolk. Just like this. Alright, can you see the egg yolk is inside and the white part is in the other plate. And now I separated them. Right. I have 3 egg yolks. Okay, let's try the fourth method. Alright, this is the fourth method and it's quite similar to using a cup, but this time we're using a bottle. Just clean it, make sure it's clean. And then crack the egg in a small plate. And you're supposed to try to press on the bottle. And try to take... I'm not sure if this one's gonna work. I hope it does. But I'm not sure. Okay, it's working. Oh, it worked! It worked, but then it kind of fell down. Okay, so this one didn't work, sadly. You can see half the egg yolk is here, but the other half is in the plate. I think it might be my bottle. Maybe it's quite hard. So if you have a water bottle, I think this will work perfectly. So yeah, these were 4 different methods to crack an egg. Hope you enjoyed the video.
So we can have engagement, but I can't see it because the computer.
Madam Hana dah berjoget dah.
I'm not? Okay. So yeah, we've seen some tips and tricks about egg yolks, about corn, and we've seen some great recipes from my friends in my group. So we had a breakfast recipe, we had shakshuka, we had some iced coffee, we had a lunch recipe, chicken wrap. It looked really good, actually looked really good. I am really curious what it tastes like. It's such a shame that we can't see in person. And I'm going to make, I guess, a dinner recipe, but it can really be used for anything, any time of day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. I'm going to make nasi goreng or fried rice. And this recipe, guys, nasi goreng is actually really, really good if you have leftover rice. Because if you have leftover rice, you put it in the fridge and it gets really, really dry. And that's actually the best texture to have to make fried rice. Because you don't want it to be too moist, you don't want it to be too soggy. So I have some leftover rice I left in the fridge overnight. It's kind of crumbly, kind of dry, it doesn't really stick together as much. And it is really easy. And one of the best things about fried rice is you can really put anything in it. I just went in my fridge, looked to see what I had. I had some carrots, I had some onions, I had some cabbage, I'm going to be using some garlic, and I had some hot dogs, so I'm going to throw that in for a bit of protein as well. You can use anything. You can use chicken, shrimp. In Indonesia, we have a lot of different kinds of fried rice, nasi goreng, that people will sell on the street. And there's one that we call nasi goreng gila, crazy fried rice. They just throw anything in, anything, everything, just, yeah. So, okay, first things first, we have our pan, non-stick pan, we have a wooden spatula, and I already chopped everything, I pre-prepared everything. So we need our oil. We don't want to use too much oil because we don't want it to be too greasy. So we're just gonna use a little bit. That's enough. And turn the heat on kind of low. Spread it out throughout the pan. And we want to cook the vegetables first because they can take a long time. So I'm gonna put in my onions that I have chopped up. I used about 1 small onion, and I'm gonna put in my carrots because these things tend to take a while. Carrots especially. When you're chopping your vegetables also, guys, it's best to cut them at a uniform size so it'll cook evenly. It'll cook at the same speed. It'll be even all the way around. So do this for a while. Maybe make it medium heat. I also have some garlic here, but garlic, if you add it earlier, it will be more fragrant. The food will be more fragrant, but the trouble with garlic is that it burns really easily. So instead of a really great garlicky scent or taste or flavor, what you get is something bitter and kind of gross. So we wait a while to add the garlic. And yeah, like I said, you can really add anything. You put peas, you can put, I've seen broccoli, I've seen corn, just whatever you have on hand. That's the best thing about fried rice. I'm just adding some vegetables so it's a little more healthy. But yeah. Stir fry this. So I'm going to be using this soy sauce also. This is Indonesian soy sauce. It's thicker and sweeter than most soy sauces. So I don't use a measurement. I just eyeball it. And in cooking, you really have to use feeling. You cook with love, you cook with your feelings. You don't necessarily need exact measurements. And the great thing about fried rice is it's so customizable. So you don't have to use this soy sauce. You can use any soy sauce if it's not available. Malaysian soy sauce or Japanese soy sauce, even Indonesian soy sauce that I buy in Malaysia, in my experience, tastes saltier. So just adjust whatever sauce you use with seasoning, salt and pepper. Adjust it to taste. There's no exact measurement. Okay, so I'm starting to smell it. It's really great. Stir it so it doesn't burn, doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the pan. And then I'm gonna add in some, careful, add in some cabbage, so it's a little healthier. And I'm gonna add in my garlic now. So if you wanted to use eggs, eggs are a very, very common ingredient in fried rice. So you might be wondering why I'm not using it. If you wanted to use eggs, this is right about the time where you would add them in. The reason I'm not using fried eggs personally is because I am allergic. So, yeah, I'm just wilting a little bit. Lower the heat. It's important to cook the garlic too, by the way. If you're worried about burning it and you just want to add it raw garlic does not taste great. It's okay, but yeah. I added a lot of vegetables, a lot more than I expected actually, but it's okay. We're trying to be healthy. And to add a little bit of protein, I have some sausage or hot dogs that I chopped up. So throw that in there too. And here is a good time to add sauces. So just eyeballing that. That's probably around a tablespoon or two. If you want it to be spicy, you can add chili as well. And here's where I'm going to add my rice. One second. You can use a lot of different pastes as well, different seasonings. So you can use oyster sauce, you can use teriyaki sauce. If you have tomato paste, you can make tomato fried rice, and that's really good as well. And I think I'm gonna add a little more soy sauce because it's looking a little pale. So for hot dogs, the hot dogs that I added, hot dogs are already partially cooked. They don't really take much time to fully cook if you're adding it to a fried rice. But if you're using raw chicken or raw protein of any kind, like shrimp or anything, you want to leave it a little longer before you add the rice and everything. So yeah. It's almost done. It's really quick, really easy. If you want a little bit of color, you can add some peas or spinach, something greener, broccoli even, cut it up into small pieces. And right now I'm just breaking apart the clumps just so everything gets fully incorporated. All the sauces, everything. So we don't have any single grain that is bland, that is flavorless. Yeah. Add a little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. And mix that all up. think I can transfer over to a plate now. So here's our fried rice. Oops. And now bring this over here. I have a spoon here. Plate it. Make sure you get everything. We don't want to waste. And you can, if you're feeling fancy, you can add garnishes. So in Indonesia, oftentimes, if you order fried rice at a restaurant, you'll have a plate. Looks kind of like this, but it'll come with like a really nice looking tomato cut into the shape of a flower, or cucumbers cut into roses, or chili peppers cut to made to look like lilies. It's actually really pretty, but this is Cooking 102. So that's maybe like 505 or something. So yeah, that's a very easy, quick way to turn your leftovers into a meal for the next day. So nothing goes to waste. And I'm feeling just a little bit fancy, so I'm gonna add a garnish of a slice of lettuce. So yeah, here is how to make fried rice. Just a few simple ingredients that you would have around your house. Leftover rice, hot dogs, some vegetables, whatever you have, and salt and pepper. So that's basically it. Yeah. It does actually smell really good, guys. Yeah. Okay.
Rice is really easy to make. It's a staple in a lot of countries. There are different types of rice though, but the typical ratio for cooking rice for medium to long grain rice would be 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. But you can also add a bit of lemon juice or even a little bit of vinegar, just like a squeeze or a teaspoon, to your rice when you're cooking, and it helps it last longer. It won't spoil as fast. You can also...
So popcorn is a really great snack. It's easy to make, it's affordable, it's healthy even. Stovetop popcorn can be kind of intimidating if you've only ever made microwave popcorn, but it's pretty easy. A good way to pop all of your kernels and not burn any is to just heat your oil, throw in a few kernels, like 3 to 4, and then wait for those to pop. Once those 3 to 4 kernels have popped, then you add in the rest, turn off your stove, cover it, yeah, and wait for 30 seconds. So I'm gonna cover this.
rice is really easy to make. It's a staple in a lot of countries. There are different types of rice though, but the typical ratio for cooking rice for medium to long grain rice would be 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. But you can also add a bit of lemon juice or even a little bit of vinegar, just like a squeeze or a teaspoon, to your rice when you're cooking, and it helps it last longer. It won't spoil as fast. You can also, after refrigerating your rice, usually it'll separate, it doesn't stick together anymore, and it gets really dry. So when reheating, a really good way to bring back this moisture is actually to just place a damp tissue or paper towel over your rice and reheat it like that in the microwave for a few seconds, or even on the stovetop. It brings back all of that moisture and it makes it nice and soft and fluffy again.
We are live. Okay. We shall ask you questions next. 1 second. Okay. I see you can see my questions. Okay, so I will ask you guys questions and you guys have to go one by one and let me know whatever the answer is. We'll start off with Noor, Sarah, Sophia, and then Salim. So my first question is, what is your best preferred improvisation on cooking? Noor, you first. No problem. Sarah, we can't hear you. Oh. Okay. Salim or Sophia? I'll make a scenario for you. So let's say you ran out of salt. We can't hear you. 1 second. Apologies. Let me see what's wrong here. Okay, can you say something? There you go. Sorry about that. One second.
Specific plates. So total, I would have total 2 plates. Sorry, at the very end.
I'm so sorry. I just got a comment saying that there was an error with your audio. Could you repeat a little bit of that again?
All right. I would like to limit myself with plates. So, right. For example, before cooking, I prepare myself the vegetables, the chicken, anything that's based on what I'm going to cook. I'll prepare it in a plate, and then after that, while I'm cooking, I'll leave the food cooking, and I'll take the plate. I'll rinse it over, and I'll bring it back for preparation after I'm done cooking. Only to limit myself from washing dishes because I'm very busy, first of all, and I have a lot of things to do right after.
Oh, I see. All right, Sophia, do you have any improvisation that you would do with cooking? I think
Sophia?
her connection might have cut out a bit.
Okay, well, I'll go with mine.
All right, sure.
So yeah, my favorite improvisation is just pour lemon. Most dishes can go well if you just pour a bit of lemon. Like they'll just taste nice, especially on meat. Except for chocolate, I would not recommend you to pour lemon on most desserts, unless you're trying to make a lemon cake. That's an entirely different thing. Lemon and pancakes, though, that is something you guys should try.
Lemon and pancakes.
Not lemon itself. Don't squeeze
I
the
mean,
lemon
yeah,
on
just
top.
oh,
Lemon zest.
Flavored with lemon.
Exactly.
could you guys give me any suggestions on, let's say, the lemon? You know, the skin outside you have the citrus. When you press on the skin, is there any use of that I can make?
Well, that's what we call lemon zest.
Zest. Okay, my bad.
Yes.
Yeah, lemon zest, you could use it as spice on the chicken, on the raw chicken. I think you could add it on the chicken before you cook it with the other spices. In some dishes, it would really tasty flavor.
Mm-hmm.
One tip for the ladies would be that you can use, the remaining juices or whatnot of the lemon and kind of use it for, what do you call that? A makeshift skin cleanser of sorts.
Yeah, okay.
It's very old school, okay? But so if you're more fancy type, I wouldn't recommend that.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing. If you're making a cake and you run out of vanilla, you can.
Sorry, say
your
again?
voice.
If you're making a cake and you ran out of vanilla, you can use
okay.
lemon.
Lemon. Okay, got it.
One last tip. If you're trying any soft drink, right? Add a slice of lemon. It
Add a
will
slice.
taste amazing.
It gives you that fresh taste.
Exactly.
Okay, Sophia, we just got your connection back. So do you have any improvisations you do on cooking?
Pretty much everything is an improvisation for me in cooking. Yeah, what I tend to do is, if I want to learn how to make something new, I look up a recipe. I use that as a basic foundation, and then from there I improvise. I'll follow the recipe exactly just once, and then any other time
You're just gonna.
that I'll do whatever.
So for example, let's say you found a new recipe as well. Do you buy exact ingredients that you need? Let's say you are cooking for yourself. Do you buy the exact amount of ingredients for that one dish, or do you buy extra?
Extra just to be safe,
Just to be safe, okay.
because you never. Even earlier this morning when I was trying to make something, you guys know what happened with the popcorn.
Yep,
So-
we had burnt popcorn.
Yeah. Cooking mistakes, they happen. It's life, that happens. So buy more than you need. Buy as much as you need, and you don't want to overspend. But it's nice to have a little extra just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you
I
kind of freeze extra food.
What?
You always can freeze extra food if you are not gonna use it for
Oh,
later
yes.
use. Yeah.
leftovers can always be used.
If you guys are going to be freezing food, what's your method on how do you store it or wrap it up or something?
It
Okay.
really depends on the food.
But mostly if you just put it in a plastic zip bag, it would be fine for most of the things you would freeze. And plus, it would save space in your freezer, since like bags would be flatter, so you don't have to have a lot of space.
Oh, okay,
Waste.
but
Make it vacuum seal to avoid any frost.
vacuum
the
seal.
chicken.
Yeah, that was my question. Do you keep air marination or anything? But vacuum seal, right?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, let's move to our next question. We have, what do you prefer cooking for a midnight snack?
I personally
We'll
prefer
start
something
with-
very unhealthy.
Sorry, say
I
again.
personally, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I personally prefer to cook something very unhealthy, very cheesy, and full of fat. Because usually this is what you crave at midnight.
Okay, nice. Any hints on what kind of food you cook as well? Just one, let's say the last week.
Yesterday it was fried chicken and fries
Fried
with
chicken.
a lot of cheese sauce and Parmesan cheese on top.
Nice. Okay.
I wouldn't call that a
Cool.
snack. That's more like a mini meal.
That is actually a mini meal. Yeah. But as long as it's cooked within that 50-minute mark.
Yes.
Hmm.
I guess so. All right. Anybody else?
My typical
Midnight
midnight snack is just whatever was left over from dinner.
And anything?
I'll go through the
Uh,
fridge, whatever is there, I'll eat it.
So usually leftovers.
Yeah, leftovers.
Any
leftover-
combinations you have done that was weird?
Yeah. Not for a midnight snack, but one particular strange combination that actually ended up being really good was a cheese and peanut sauce sandwich.
Cheese and peanut sauce sandwich.
Yes, not peanut butter.
Peanut
Yeah.
sauce. Is that the one they use for satay?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like that. When used for satay, for a lot of Southeast Asian dishes, you have peanut sauce. So it was a kind of spicy peanut sauce. My mom was just making a huge pot on the stove, and I liked tasting it. And I was making grilled cheese sandwich, and then I thought,
Why not?
yeah, why not?
Nice.
It actually ended up being really good.
Wait, that's a new dish now.
Yeah. But I tried it again another time. And it didn't taste as good as I remembered. So I don't know. Maybe it was just that particular day.
Just
But-
yeah. Whenever you're hungry, you just eat anything, and it's the best meal ever.
I guess, but I remember really, really liking that peanut sauce and cheese combination.
Nice.
So I'll have to test that out more. But
Do let us know if you
Cooking-
make a name for it as well.
yeah, cooking does not need to follow any rules. Just do whatever.
Just don't burn it. Burn
I
it.
agree.
Burn it.
Just cook with whatever you have.
Whatever you
Right.
like.
Gordon
I
Ramsay would
actually
disagree.
have
Celine,
have
you were
a
about to
risk-
say something as well. Sorry. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, I was gonna share a very unhealthy that I usually cook at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
I get the Indomie, or Maggi, whatever you have, and I cook it and I add a little bit of milk and chili bean.
Oh, milk and
Milk?
wait, chili bean?
Yes,
Chili
it's a very weird combination, but it is amazing.
That's a very weird combination.
Milk. Why?
But it is amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
And if I want to make it fancy, I add leftovers chicken or meat, or I just fry an egg and add it on top.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I've never heard of milk in.
Yeah, milk.
cereals.
Like there is a type of pasta that contains milk as a main ingredient, so it would be similar to it.
Oh, okay.
It makes
If-
it creamy.
That's so interesting.
So kind of like white sauce pasta.
You guys should try it.
Yeah. There is like a dish in the Arab cook. It's called bechamel. I don't know if you know
Bechamel,
it.
yes.
Yeah, it contains milk. The base of the sauce is milk, butter, and a small amount of flour. So yeah, it's similar.
Very similar.
I think I've tried it. It's actually
But
very
more
nice, yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
If you feel lazy and you still want to eat unhealthy foods,
Nice. Okay, anybody more snacks? Or should I move on to the next?
I'll go one. Boiled eggs and mayo sandwich.
Boiled eggs and mayo. Wait, that's basically like a mayo sandwich. Mayo egg sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. Well, they just asked what my preferred
I
midnight.
mean, good. It works.
High cholesterol, but it's fine. For me, I personally go for. I like to make myself a grilled cheese sandwich, but
Okay.
I'd like to go for mature cheddar cheese, which gives it that rich flavor. And I also go for the I put some jalapenos.
Jalapenos,
In-
okay.
Yeah, just to give it that little kick. You know, I don't want anything too spicy before going to bed.
A little bit of
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay, yeah.
Because
The
in the morning.
grilled cheese sandwich. For grilled cheese sandwich, I make it differently. I covered the bread with the eggs, and then I grilled it. So, yeah, you could
That
try
kind of
that.
becomes like a grilled cheese French toast.
I've heard
Yeah,
some people
yeah, I like
suggest. Yeah.
French toast and grilled cheese. Yeah.
I've heard some people suggest spreading mayo before you on your bread when you make grilled cheese sandwiches, so that like
Oh.
makes
Does
sense.
that also would make it crispier, right? A little
Yeah.
bit.
I think so.
Okay, nice. Right, let's move to the next one, which we have. What is your favorite meal? This would have to be something that you love cooking and it's worth it,
That's
worth
a
it every time.
difficult question. I love food.
You can pick 3 then.
Favorite meal.
Let's go with the 3 options then. One that you absolutely love, one that you can have anytime, so it's a bit you can just pick it up from the store and cook at home and it's ready. And the third one can be, I guess, breakfast. Let's just say.
Okay, for breakfast is the shakshuka I just made today because it's easy and delicious.
It looks delicious, yeah.
It's so simple. Yeah. Favorite meal? I don't have favorite. I like everything. I like pasta. Yeah, the pasta or rice with chicken. Like this is the most meals that I eat.
Wait, do you mean pasta then rice or chicken, or do you like pasta with rice with chicken?
No.
Separately, okay.
Okay.
All right.
For me, I think for breakfast, usually I like to eat the oatmeal I just cream. And the reason why I like to eat in the morning because usually I feel good at midnight before, so I eat something healthy in the morning.
Do you combine anything with the oatmeal or just the way it comes? Like anything, any fruits?
Yeah, I put whatever fresh fruits I have.
Oh, okay.
I love raisins, so I always put raisins. I never put sugar. I take sugar from raisins, so if I want it too sweet, I add a lot of raisins. If I want it without sugar at all, sometimes I eat it without fruits at all. Still nice.
That's the perfect combination. So at night you have the unhealthy snack, at the morning you have the healthy snack.
Yeah.
Combined, you get the healthy
So
snack.
I can balance it.
Evened out.
For my favorite dish, I think my favorite dish is wara anab, which is stuffed grape. This Egyptian traditional. I really love it, but I can't cook it. It's very hard, and I love to eat it. Actually, I don't like my mom's stuffed grape. I like it from my grandma.
Oh, okay.
But again, I can't cook it, so I don't get to eat it a lot.
Yeah, it's too complicated. It's one of my favorite dishes too, but I forget about it since I didn't eat it in a long time.
I didn't eat it for a very long time. Too. Something I can eat every day, I think, pizza. You can have anything with pizza.
All right. Anybody else? Favorite meals?
For me, most things with meat.
One session, something like Q&A.
Am I hearing the lecture?
Sorry.
Okay, let's.
Sorry, some issues here. For Rizwan, what's your favorite meal?
Oh, my favorite meal. For breakfast, well, I think breakfast is a myth.
Is a myth.
Jokes aside, pretty much my series loops actually am doing.
Could, there's a bit of audio interference. Could you bring it closer?
Okay. So, my favorite breakfast would be cereal. My favorite cereal would be Fruit Loop. I've seen it in my dreams at times. For lunch, it's kind of random, but my favorite meal, which I would not recommend a lot of people having a lot often, is spicy Korean chicken. It's basically chicken which is marinated, cooked, and then after that you cook it again with soy sauce, vinegar, and chili flakes. It's very, very spicy, and I would not recommend have it often.
I usually like chili flakes, but I got traumatized just once, and I cannot handle it anymore. I had way too much.
I'm guessing your morning was a bit.
Yeah,
exciting.
and it was breakfast. It was a combination of shrimp, with some rice and some other ingredients, and then we had some. It was supposed to be a little bit of chili flakes, and then I added a bit too much, which killed it for the rest of the day.
For dinner.
It doesn't have to be dinner. It can be anything.
Yeah, for dinner, I think it'd probably be leftovers from lunch.
Leftovers? That's got to be lunch.
It's the other way around for me.
Oh, okay.
It's more like I cook for lunch and then I eat the leftovers of lunch in dinner.
Got it. All right, Sophia. Oh yeah, Salim.
For breakfast, I straight up go for English breakfast. I get the beans, the sunny side up eggs with the sausages, and that's it, and butter toast. For lunch, I'd love to have makaroni bechamel. It's my favorite meal that I can make. The meals that I cannot make, I'm not gonna mention them because it's pointless. For dinner,
let's say, which one would you like to learn?
the home cooked. My mother used to cook this. It's called koftet roz.
Sorry, say again.
Koftet roz. That's in Arabic. It's called what do you call it? It's basically meatballs, but the rice has been blended and cooked with the meatballs to give it that nice texture. You deep fry it, and then you mix it with you mix it up with the.
Wait, you deep fry the rice?
You deep fry the meat blended with the rice, and then after that you take that and you drown it in red sauce.
Oh.
This is what I like personally. And for dinner, I don't usually eat dinner, but I probably make myself a sweet corn on a cup.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Sophia, any favorite meals?
Favorite meals? I think Sarah mentioned before. I guess pizza.
Pizza. Any favorite pizza flavor
Or-
toppings?
Yeah. Pizza flavor. So pizza for me, because I grew up in an area that didn't have a lot of Muslims or halal places. Anything with meat we avoid. So I grew up eating plain pizzas, just plain cheese pizzas or vegetable and mushrooms on pizzas. So for me, actually eating pizza with any sort of meat on it, like chicken, sausage, pepperoni, it actually tastes really strange. I guess it's just not what I'm used to. But yeah, so just plain pizzas or
Plain
mushroom,
pizza.
green pepper. Yeah,
Well, that's a classic style, adding mushrooms.
it is a classic. Also, for people who don't know, I'm originally from New York, so the pizza is really good, even the plain pizza.
It is the origin.
Not the origin.
Not origin, but it's like the it was evolved there the most. I think.
Yeah.
For what it is now, it was evolved in New York.
It's the capital. So pizza is the foundation of my childhood. So a lot of fond memories of pizza, making pizza, eating pizza, any pizza. I
Any
really love
pizza. All day.
Well,
all
no,
night.
not
It's-
any
it's
pizza.
Breakfast,
That's
dinner, lunch.
What?
I mean, pizza
When-
also is the perfect leftover food. It never.
It is, yeah.
There's nothing better. You can always reheat it and have it the same.
Even if you don't reheat it, eating it cold is okay.
Cold
too.
also works. Yes.
It still works.
Okay, let's go to the.
Okay, we just talked about pizza. So
Uh-huh.
do you like pineapple on pizza?
Oh God, no.
I have gotten used to it.
I love it.
I have
I don't
accepted
ever
it.
Especially pineapple on pizza. That's one.
Your camera has cut off.
My camera?
Yeah.
Still here.
Oh wait,
I can still-
Sophia's.
It's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Sophia's not. Yeah, I think the internet connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a soldier down.
Mayday.
Mayday. All right. Next up, we have when did you start cooking and why?
Since I was born.
Okay. For me, before I came to study in Malaysia, I used to cook only sweet dishes. Like I don't cook anything else. So when I came here, I start like craving like the food that I had back home. and I start like cooking with 1 or 2 dishes, like the whole month. It's only like 2 or 3
That's the
dishes.
classic.
Yeah, and then I like after maybe 1 year of cooking, I get bored and I start learning the complicated dishes that my mom makes since I'm craving it all time. So yeah, that's how I started, and yeah, like cooking is fun if you enjoyed it, and like just keep learning. It doesn't have rules. To me, it doesn't have rules, but like yeah, cooking is, yeah, you would learn fast. Cooking to me, cooking is not hard. It just needs some time and patience. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. All right, next up we have Sarah.
For me, I think I started cooking since a young age. Always, whenever I try at a restaurant or like someone give me something and I liked it, I try to figure it out by my own and see if I can create this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've been cooking since I was young.
Very
I've
young.
I've never really cooked like daily or as a routine. It's always been just trying a specific meal. But I think I started cooking not daily, but like twice or 3 times a week. This month.
This month,
Just
okay.
because we're staying home and I don't go out a lot.
That's the pandemic. Nice. All right, Sophia.
I think for me, really similar to Noor, actually. You cook because you want to eat certain things, at least for me. And my mom involved me and my sister in cooking from a pretty young age. So we'd help out, like breaking long beans or measuring rice or whatever, just doing little things, but actually cooking on my own, cooking something more than instant noodles or pasta. Probably at around like 11 or 12, because I wanted things that I couldn't buy because we'd moved. So yeah, like pizza tastes really different.
Wait,
in different
you
parts
mean
of the
age
world.
11 or 12?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That was still pretty early.
Yeah.
You-
Well, pizza, like I mentioned before, pizza in New York is really good, and pizza in Indonesia tastes
Ah, okay. So
different.
that's around the age when you moved, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pizza in New York and Indonesia tastes different. So like I wanted pizza, so I made my own pizza. It doesn't taste the same. It's not as good, but it's something. For a lot of dishes, really, yeah. It's just you move different places, you live different places, and they don't have certain things that you're used to having readily available. So since you want it, you learn how to make it yourself. Even if it doesn't turn out good, even if it's terrible, you still feel okay eating something terrible that you made, or more okay eating something not great that you made than you do buying something terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, my motivation to cook is really driven by my desire to eat certain things.
There's also, I mean, with that, in that way, we have certification of what we're putting in the meal, and we are getting exactly what we had before, and I guess it's healthier.
Yeah, you do. It is good to know what goes into your body, what you're putting in your mouth, what goes in your food. So there's that. But I'd say, yeah. When did I start cooking? At that young age, mostly because I wanted to eat things.
Nice.
Eat things that I couldn't buy. Yeah.
That's the perfect motivation, cooking because I want to eat.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need any more reasoning.
Yeah, well, some people really enjoy the process of cooking, and I don't mind it. It's just I cook because I want to eat.
All right.
Yeah.
I think, Salim, you guys are muted, maybe, right now next to them.
Yeah, sorry. Just
Right.
avoid any background.
Yeah.
I started cooking when I was around 14, 15. That's when I realized that I can, like, that's when my mother gave me the permission to enter the kitchen, finally. And basic things I started cooking, it was basic food, eggs, What else? I usually heat up the toast and probably what the main thing was eggs. So I usually made eggs. I worked on making Spanish omelet. Probably mixed eggs with sausages and cooked it like that. I was a fan of eggs when I was a kid. And after that, I moved later on to pasta, which was pretty easy. Pasta is easier. Cooking pasta is much more easier than cooking rice. Right now, I still didn't master cooking rice because I just didn't feel the need to cook rice most of the time.
For
And
pasta, do you prefer the white sauce, the red sauce, or do you prefer dry?
Or oil.
say dry.
I mean, aglio olio, for example.
Sorry.
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but the aglio olio, it's like a very oily, dry pasta. Usually, it's not white creamy.
It's not very oily, but I would consider it butter with pepper
Butter,
and
yeah.
salt. I used to like when I was young. Now, straight up white sauce. It's always white sauce.
White
Right
sauce,
now,
right.
bechamel. Yeah, bechamel is it's not considered white sauce, but it's white. It's creamy. It's very nice. For the what else? I just mainly focus on that. Obviously, cooking burgers are very easy, so that's how that's what I cooked. After that, I just decided to, just see whatever works for me. I watched a lot of cooking videos. I just decided to cook the basic necessities for me. What about you?
Well, in my case, I was trained by Gordon Ramsay when I was 3.
Gordon Ramsay, nice.
Oh.
Okay, I actually don't remember when I actually started cooking. But it was kind of similar to him, just, basic eggs and stuff like that. Yeah, nothing that's special. My story is a bit boring in comparison.
Special information.
But did you mainly start cooking when you traveled away from home?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I mean, it's the most case with everyone, but you get to enjoy
Yeah,
more.
honestly, that's literally the most important thing.
Actually, I did cook some proper meals back home as well, now that I think about it. But that was for, special events or something like that. One of them was lasagna. She's on, now that I think about it. It was one of the first few things, one of the first few proper meals that I made.
I'm still proud that I can actually cook Indomie. This video is very, very important for me. Cooking 102. I get to cook 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Alrighty. Next question we have. How do you know if your chicken has gone bad? What's your trick?
Basically, when
Smell.
yes,
Let's say if it's just about going to go bad. It's not. We can't sense the smell.
it's sticky,
It's
Sticky.
no, not sticky, slimy. Very slimy.
slimy.
Slimy. Okay. Anything with the colors or no?
Obviously,
the
colors.
color's
If you
not
leave
going.
it for a long time, the color is gonna be there. But if it's almost about, spoiled, you're gonna notice that there's the color change is different.
If you are talking about raw chicken, I think raw chicken you shouldn't leave it uncooked in the fridge for more than 2 days.
2 days.
In
What
the
about the freezer?
Yeah, I think
In
so.
the fridge or
2
the
days.
freezer?
No, fridge. A freezer for as long as you want. I think 6 months, something like that.
Okay, I would not recommend 6 months.
What if I have done something kind of stupid and I have actually cooked the chicken out and then I realize it might be spoiled? What's the checkup on that?
It's still
I
the
think
smell.
while you are cooking, you will smell about
Smell,
this.
okay.
If you can't smell, just make
If
sure
you've
you have
already
a
cooked
mate to
it.
come and help you out.
Got it. Okay. Smells the main key.
If
Okay.
you've already cooked it, just throw it out.
Yeah. What is your favorite traditional dish? Traditional can be any culture or where you're from.
I would say again, Gulf Gravely.
Can you bring the camera a bit closer? It's a bit stuttery. Or just come
Me?
closer to the camera. Yeah.
Get over here.
Your question is too hard.
I mean, just home food. Just home food.
There's a lot
Yeah,
to choose from.
I like grape leaves. I like bechamel. I like everything.
Everything. Perfect.
Let's think of this as your permanent meal for the whole for 1 year.
Not
What
one-
would you?
Okay,
would you
1
go
year.
for?
Oh, that's a good one.
You get to only have this dish for 1 full year. Every day, every
Oh.
night. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. And maybe in the breakfast you can have something else, but the rest.
I would say if I have to do it for a whole year, I will eat it. I would say maybe a pizza.
Pizza, perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
if you go for one flavor again for the pizza, which one?
Uh, I like pepperoni pizza, but I'm not sure if I can eat it all day long.
The smart strategy would be to get everything together, and the days you want it, just pick out the stuff you don't want to eat, and eat the rest.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Basically, you just put all the toppings and then you remove it when you're.
So if you want pepperoni, just remove everything else. If you want, if you don't want pepperoni, just remove the pepperoni. You have the rest. You want margarita?
Yeah, keep
it all
the
out.
keep the things that you took out for the next day if you want extra.
Perfect. Yeah.
If you're tired of pizza, just cut everything out. Like just cut the crust out and have the crust raw.
Yep. Or just take out all the toppings and make a salad.
No, this is not a good idea.
Salad can work. What do you mean? Just olives, some green pepper, onions, perfect.
No,
And
you
pineapple.
can take out the crust.
Uh-huh.
Does it call crust? The
Yeah.
thing around it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could take it out and cut it to small pieces, throw it in the oven, and it will be crispy, like
Very
you're
crispy,
eating
yeah.
chips. That's why I chose pizza. You could like play around
There's a
with
lot of
it.
stuff you can do.
It's very hard for me to eat the same meal for 2 days.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
not sure if I have to do it for a full year.
No.
For me, it's 1 day.
As much as I love pizza, I feel like eating that much cheese all the time would just be way too heavy.
It will be.
Any meal, if you eat it like for every day for a year, it would be like that's it enough.
Yeah.
That's not my favorite meal anymore.
But cheese specifically, it's like it's greasy. It's a heavy food. It's not light, not like a salad. You'd get sick of it, but you wouldn't feel weighed down by the salad. So
Okay, let's say I have a weird kind of question. All right, let's say you guys are, pandemic's over. It's about to, you're grouping together. You're calling your friends over, and you have a pizza party. You have 3 pizzas, large, okay, and now you're sharing it with everyone else. First pizza has no cheese. It's just tomato sauce and the toppings. Second pizza is very, very, let's say, second pizza has pineapples. And the third pizza, what can I have? The third pizza, sorry?
You could alter
Only
the
topping,
whole-
only cheese, for
Only
example.
Only cheese.
question.
So my question is, you have to share the thing. Which slices are you gonna take, and which are you gonna try your best to avoid?
what was the
Because
third?
I
you
would
have to
take
try
the
and take
first
it.
one.
The tomato only, the sauce only,
Tomato and topping.
topping. No,
said it.
you don't like pineapple at all.
No, I usually take it out. I'm not used to eat pineapples
Oh, yeah, I
with
forgot.
pizza.
You can
That's
just
why
break
I
the
don't
system.
like it.
I forgot
What
you
was
can
the
break
third
the system
pizza?
with
I'm
that.
dipping in an acid. If there's pineapple on my pizza, I'm dipping it in sulfuric acid.
Nice.
I need to erase it.
If you guys don't want your pizza with pineapple, you can give it to me.
Just collect all the pineapples, and then you can make a whole pineapple out of
I'd
that.
give it to Sarah.
Thing is, okay, the remnants of the pineapple flavors stick to the pizza.
Let me just advise this for the viewers of this that we're not literally going to trade pineapples to anyone here. This is just a question.
I said the
Sure.
pandemic's over.
Hypothetical.
Yes.
Okay.
The
All right.
pandemic has already ended. All right.
Once the
next,
pandemic ends, you guys message me about this.
New cryptocurrency, pineapples.
Like, yeah, yo, Salim, give me the pineapple.
Okay, worst dish ever. It can be a restaurant, your home, or yourself.
Let's avoid restaurants to, not to get.
You don't have to say the restaurant's name. Just say what they gave you.
Just don't give the name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Let's
What did they offer you?
Can I give a name?
Okay. Salim first. Are we gonna start?
I would probably say, I think I'm a bit biased when I say this, but the worst dish I would ever have is spicy.
Oh.
Honestly, I'm kind of biased. I do like Texas chicken. I love the burger. If it's spicy and I'm trying to eat it, I'll survive. I'll try my best to survive. But the thing is, I still find no point of why spicy food is necessary. I do respect everyone eating their spicy
Controversy.
food.
We need to fight.
I do like spicy foods. Like
You said
some
you liked jalapenos. I thought we were friends.
jalapenos gives a kick. It doesn't burn the organs in your body. All right.
All of India, Pakistan, and Mexico has become his enemy.
Salim, you are banned.
They would like to have a conversation with you about spiciness. In my case, the worst dish. When I turned rice into glue.
Oh, got it.
So basically, I have a really bad habit of whenever I cook something, at times, I just, leave it there and then just fly off. So I did that with rice, and I would advise everyone never to do that. It turns into glue, and you have to dump it.
It's a combination of too much water and then overcooked.
Yes.
Perfecto. You need to call the plumber and the fire department.
By the way, actually, a history lesson. Back in the day, I think they did kind of use starch from either, I'm not sure whether it's from rice or something else. From potatoes, yeah. They did use starch from potatoes to make glue at the start. That's kind of one of the earliest ancient glues. History lesson.
And then they realized that plants like this.
At school, in elementary schools in America, they teach you if you're out of glue, you can use flour and water to make glue.
Flour and water.
But my mom always was like, just get a bit of rice, smush it there.
Wouldn't.
Glue.
Oh, okay.
Just don't keep the document or whatever gluey substance for long because it'll rot.
Yeah.
These are biodegradable.
It'll dry more than rot.
But, I mean, won't fungus grow on it later?
Eventually, probably, yeah. But
Yeah. I mean, you can't stick
if
it
it's
on.
a tiny amount, not that much though. Worst dish.
Worst
This morning,
dish.
my popcorn.
I mean, we still actually haven't even discussed worst dish yet.
I have two that come to mind for my worst dish that I've ever made. And both of them are not my fault. They're my sister's fault. Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, one, I was trying to make a chocolate cake. I think it was like 13 or 14. I was trying to bake a chocolate cake. And my sister came by and tried it. And she's like, oh, it's not sweet enough. She tried the batter. So she took the powdered sugar and just dumped a bunch into my batter.
Okay.
Just random, threw it in. And I had no choice but to mix it together. So that ended up being extremely, extremely disgustingly sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one. It tasted awful. On top of that, the frosting that I made, I used shortening instead of butter because I was trying to be cheap.
Oh my.
Trying to save money. Yeah, for the chocolate frosting, I didn't want to use butter because butter's expensive. So I used shortening and I mixed that with the sugar and the cocoa powder and everything. And when I was putting it on my cake, it looked fine. It like glazing it over, it looked fine. But then when it cooled down, it wasn't like fully blended or fully mixed. It looked like there was a weird film, clumpy layers of fat all over my cake. Yeah, it wasn't good. It was really weird.
It had to be.
Yeah, that's one. The other worst dish that I've made, also my sister's fault. We tried to roast the chicken, a whole chicken in the oven. And we made like a herb butter and everything. It was our first time roasting a whole chicken. And you're supposed to put stuff inside, right? Herbs and butter and everything. So the insides get aromatic. So we covered that chicken, and then the insides, we were stuffing it. And I was like, okay, it's enough. And my sister, again, she's like, no, it's not enough. It's not enough. So she dumped so much butter in there. When the chicken was done, when we took it out of the oven, on the outside, it looked great. When you cut it, when you eat the chicken, it tastes pretty okay, but there was so much butter inside. It was just a pool. That was actually really gross. But yeah, those are two of the worst dishes I've ever made. I still make a lot of terrible dishes, but it's fine.
Survival.
Yeah. Especially if it's your first time making something, like mistakes happen. It's cool. It's whatever. Even my mom, how long has she been cooking for? She used to cook for her family too, growing up. So she's been cooking since she was a kid. That's like 50 plus years of experience. She still makes terrible things. So, but she still makes really good things too. Anyone else?
I have a story for terrible dish I made, and it's quite stories for the cake. I think I was 14 or 15, and we had a family gathering at our house, and I wanted to impress everyone with my first time baking a cake. I baked it and it looked perfect, but then I realized that instead of putting sugar, I put salt.
Oh.
So it was a salty cake.
It was very.
Yeah, well, my grandma ate it and she was like, "It's really good, but next time please put sugar." She tried to make me feel better.
Cake.
Every time there's someone, I mean, people trying to defend their food is. Okay, there's a bit of a mess up with the cooking, but it's fine.
Yeah. I like the fact that she ate it, even though I'm pretty sure she hated it and it was disgusting, but she ate it just to make me feel better.
Oof. Yeah. But what have you done that to anybody else? They gave you food and you had to say.
I never baked cakes since that day. I still can't bake cakes till now.
Oh, okay.
It's always horrible. The last one I made was 2 weeks ago. It was actually 2 a.m. During MCO, and I was very, very bored that I decided to make a cake. But then, I don't know, it turned out like a rock. It wasn't a cake.
Turned out nice. I don't think I've ever
horrible when it comes to baking.
Baked proper cake.
Baking is a little trickier than cooking on a stove because you have to be more precise. And you can't like touch it. You can't really improvise when it's in there. Yeah, you open the oven, that releases all the heat. So, yeah.
You can't just add garlic and lemon.
Yeah, you can't randomly do that.
Can't ketchup, can't bake.
Baking is a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like baking as much. Especially if it's like a meat thing, it just takes a really long time as well for stuff to cook. So
nice.
I personally prefer cooking on stove because there's more freedom, more room for improvisation, and you don't have to follow rules as much as you do in baking.
All right, let's really quick look at some questions we might have in the comment section. We have, what about with waffles though? Not sure. I'm pretty sure we missed the context.
The lemon zest, I think.
The lemon zest. Ooh, okay.
Ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah.
It's perfect.
No, when Radwan mentioned that you could try out pancake with lemon zest, I think that was the question. Can he try the waffle with the lemon?
Waffle? I think
Yeah.
so.
That would taste really good, actually. You can most fruits
I would love to try this.
go really well with waffles. Most sweet things.
I mean, even in the batter, right? You can do it with orange zest and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, it will add like a bit of the scent, not the tang necessarily, but the aroma of the lemon would be incorporated into the batter, without necessarily being sour. So it would add something special to your waffle. I like to add cinnamon in my waffle batter.
Cinnamon.
So yeah.
The actual the cinnamon sticks, or do you mean like powdered?
No. Powdered cinnamon.
Powdered
Sometimes
cinnamon.
I'll add it into my waffle batter. So it's
Ooh, I
a
see.
cinnamon waffle.
I actually missed what was it called? Cinnabon?
Cinnabon, yeah.
Cinnabon.
I don't think they have that here in Malaysia, do they?
Yeah, they do.
Where?
It's
Sunway.
Sunway, that's okay.
Really?
We are such an uncultured city. We gotta wait till everything comes to us.
They have Sarvaja is still growing. It's a little baby.
Yep.
I mean, talking about food, we might be getting a Taco Bell over here. We have rumors.
Oh, go
Rumors.
Taco Bell. Why?
Yeah.
I would recommend stuffed. Stuffed is basic. I'm not sure about
But their
Taco Bell,
tacos are not that great.
Sorry?
Their tacos I have tried. They weren't amazing.
Yeah, but I preferably go for burritos.
Yeah, burrito.
is-
But that's what I'm saying. So burrito from Stuffed, tacos from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Nothing from Taco Bell, considering the things that I've heard about Taco Bell.
That's mean.
I was never allowed to eat Taco Bell growing up because of things that my parents heard about Taco Bell.
Oh,
weird.
yeah. Cooks are kind of messed up.
Also, I wasn't allowed to eat Subway.
Subway? Why Subway
Yeah.
though?
Subway
Burger
was
King
good.
lettuce?
Yeah, is it because the
No.
recent
What
scandal?
lettuce?
No, so Subways in America, obviously they have ham. It's not halal.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you can order something without ham, which my mom did one time, but then she saw the person who ordered the sandwich after her order one with ham, and the guy who made her sandwich didn't change his gloves or anything,
that's
and she got so grossed out by that. She's like, oh no, how much ham has he touched before making my sandwich? So she
Oh,
threw out her
actually, never thought about that.
yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. So she threw out her sandwich and never let me or my sister eat.
You would have been
Subway.
saved if only you didn't. Yeah.
But
I mean,
Subway
what
in
if you made
Malaysia
the
is
request
halal,
to? What if you made them a request to change the gloves?
Yeah, you could do that.
But you
But
just
my
don't
mom
wanna.
didn't do that. She just banned us from eating Subway.
Classic. Right, I think that will be close to the end of the stream. We are pretty much done. Anything, any advice you would like to give on cooking? Just really quick.
One specifically, which is start
Enjoy.
cooking, because it's the pandemic, and you guys need to, avoid ordering a lot of food, and just try new things.
Yeah. Don't leave your food in the stove. Stay next to it.
Yeah.
Sophia
Yes.
knows why.
Yeah. I would second that.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful while you are cooking. And cooking is easy and joyful if you tried it. Yeah. The washing dishes is not nice. But
Yeah.
Washing dishes, yeah.
Don't
Washing your
do it.
dishes is still acceptable, but if you do others, then no.
Washing dishes, just be sure to keep the plate soaked in water. Just so
Yeah.
it'll be easy to just
Yeah.
Wipe it off.
Somebody says, end the stream by having everyone cook. I want to see someone make a Gordon Ramsay dish. We already
Gordon.
cooked.
We already cooked.
Yeah.
You gotta go in
Made
the
this.
beginning. We
gotta
got
learn that
dishes that we still need to clean. We don't have
cooking
time
all
for them.
day.
We all. Do you guys
We
all have
cooked 4
still have your
dishes.
food?
4 dishes indeed.
I made this.
Mine, I already ate it.
It tastes good.
Perfect. But it's now gotten cold because we were busy.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you for watching, everyone.
See ya.
I hope you
Yeah,
enjoyed.
thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed and learned.
Alright. See you later.
Cooking can
Thank
be
you.
amazing.
Bye. Bon
Bye-bye.
appetit.
Bon appetit. We're done. And 5, 4,